Hi, Shiny class. I'm Dr. Pochron, and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial about how to find Web of Science and how to use Web of Science. The reason I'm doing this is not to torture you, although that's pretty funny. The reason I'm doing this is because you're going to need to use Web of Science throughout the semester. And there's no time to start like the present. So here's how we're going to start. First of all, I'm going to share my screen. And then I'm going to walk you through all the steps you need to use Web of Science, and I'm going to show you some cool things about it. Okay, here we go. Yep, sharing my screen. Gonna go with that. Okay, so everybody who knows me knows that I always have a gazillion tabs open. This is no different than that. I'm going to open a new tab. Ha ha ha. That's why I got extra RAM on my computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Stony Brook website, which you guys all know how to do. And I'm going to go to the library website. And I'm going to hit databases because Web of Science is a database. Oh, but while we're here, let me point you to some super awesome things about here. So all I did was click on the library website and then look at this. There's some stuff here that are super useful, and interlibrary loan is one of them. It is your friend. So if you find a journal article that you really want to read, but you can't get it through your library because Elsevier is a piece of shit, then you can click on interlibrary loan and your librarian will get you whatever article you want. They'll send it directly to your email address, into your email inbox, usually within 2 days, most of the time faster than that. Okay, so back to Web of Science. We go to the library website. We could even bookmark this. We could click databases. That's what we want. It's going to give us so many choices. We're going to pick W for Web of Science. And we're going to scroll down and we're going to find, woo, look at that, Web of Science. Clicking on that puppy. Okay, by the way, for those of you who have pre-med aspirations, PubMed works almost the same way. Okay, logging in, Web of Science. Okay, so here we are. Let me tell you what Web of Science is for a minute. So Web of Science is a research database that is a list of all the indexed titles and abstracts and authors and funding agencies of every paper published in the science literature databases, in the science literature. So it has everything in economics, anthropology, life sciences, chemistry, environmental science, conservation, genetics, anything you're going to be using for this class. I am going to mention PubMed because PubMed is similar to this, but PubMed and Web of Science will have a pretty, if it was a Venn diagram, there'd be big overlap. But PubMed focuses on the medical literature. Web of Science will get you to a lot of the medical literature, but it also has other stuff too. So let's see, I clicked down here and you can see some of the things that I have looked at recently. And I think I want to show you something super general. For those of you who know me, you can see that I spend a lot of my time looking at glyphosate. But that's not what we're talking about today. Let's do invasive species plants. So because the reason I'm picking this one, and I checked it out before making this video, is that you guys, our next module is about invasive species, and you're gonna have to look up some stuff about invasive species plants. Okay, so you could just type this, right? I had it in the drop down, but all you had to do was write invasive species plant. Everybody can do that. And then you click, you can see that it's about topic. You don't have to get fancy here, but you could change it to author, blah, 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 anything you want, but we're leaving it topic. Okay, search. Okay, so you can see right here that there are almost 17,000 papers published on invasive species plants. Okay. Couple of things to look at right here on our screen, aside from the fact that I am wearing a Scooby-Doo t-shirt. I did not get dressed up for this video. let's see. Why is the northern Idaho ground squirrel rare? Oh my God, I kind of want to click on that, but because what is the northern Idaho ground squirrel? I bet it's cute. I'm gonna have to look for one. But that's not where we're going here. I wanted to show you, you can sort of scroll down and see what happens. Web of Science will deliver 10 papers at a time, 10 titles at a time. Doesn't give you the papers, just the information. And you can see that it's gonna, if you had the patience, you could scroll through 16,000, almost 17,000 pages. Okay, nobody's gonna do that. Okay, but you could if you wanted. Why would you want to? Okay, so the take-home message is that there are a shitload of papers, that's a technical term, published on plant invasive species. Way too much data, but let's take a look at some of these filter things. So you could, let's say you only wanted to know about, I don't know, water hemp or mare's tails or trees of heaven, whatever. You could put that in here. None of my drop downs are going to help you, but you could put in something that, let's say that there was only one kind of plant you wanted to know about. You could filter it that way, but that's not what we're going to do because that's boring. I want to talk about these things right here. So highly cited in field is pretty important because those are the papers that people who work in the field of invasive plant species, they probably, everybody who does invasive plant species, they probably know these 102 papers. I think this is pretty interesting. Hot papers in the field, I'm like, well, let's see, there are only 2. Let's take a look at what those 2 papers are. I don't actually know the answer to this. This is not where I was gonna go. I didn't know I was going here, but it's good anyway. Okay, refine. So it's just gonna give us back 2 papers. Okay, oh, so it's the insect apocalypse. That's always good. Insect declines in the Anthropocene. You could see why that might be interesting. Interestingly, it's a book series. And you know what? I don't find book series all that interesting. I would rather cite papers. So, okay, whatever. On the origins of species, what might explain the rise of Candida aureus? Now, I happen to know that Candida aureus is like the thrush that babies get in their mouth, and it's published in the Journal of Fungi. I can't imagine why that's a hot paper in the field. Well, this got us absolutely nowhere, except for that. Oh, see, that's my chickens. They make a lot of fucking noise. See, chickens. Can you see the chickens? Yeah, they're hoping I'm gonna feed them. Okay, they don't know anything about web of science. Okay, so let's go back. I don't think that hot papers in the field is helping us any here. So, oh my God, they're so noisy. Shut up, shut up, I'm working. That's Elm. She's subordinate to Catalpa, who is mean. Catalpa is mean, not to me, but to the other chickens. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to highly cited in the field. Okay, because that's gonna give us 102 papers about invasive plant species. 102 papers is fine, and we're gonna click refine. And it's gonna give us better feedback. Okay, so season-long monitoring of the brown marmorated stink bug throughout the United States using commercially available traps and lures. Oh, now that's interesting. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a stink bug in your house and you don't know what a stink bug is, Google image now. It's probably the brown marmorated stink bug. Okay, they're everywhere. I got so excited the first time I realized what it was, and then I'm like, oh my God, every stink bug I find is that stink bug. So kind of boring. Nonetheless, let's see. I don't really care. Let's see. Let's look at this one. The early detection of and rapid response to invasive species, a conceptual framework and federal capacities assessment. Envisioning a national invasive species information framework. Okay, so these are all about how to track and monitor invasive species. Okay, look, we found our the insect apocalypse thing. Oh, we found Candida aureus again. Jesus Christ, who wants that? Okay, all right, let's look at the stink bug. Okay, so I don't know how we got to the stink bug from plants to stink bugs, but maybe we'll find the answer as I show you what's going on here. So let's just look at the information here. So the first thing that you're gonna do when you're looking for a particular topic is you put in your search results. Now I can go back and over here to search, like let's say that I thought invasive plant species was too broad or too general. And let's say I wanted to, I could put invasive plant in quotation marks and get a different set of results. Anyway, you can play around with how you put your searches in to get slightly different answers. I'm gonna run with the stink bug because quite honestly, they're funny and a little disgusting. So here's the title of the paper. Here are the authors. It's published in this Journal of Economic Entomology, and it was just published in February. Nice thing, it's free full text from publisher. So these authors paid probably $2,000 or $3,000 to make this public access, which they did. Full text from Stony Brook University. You know, because it's free text from the publisher, you're gonna find it anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and click on this and see what is this paper about. Okay, so Web of Science won't give you the full text. It'll tell you how to find the full text, but it won't give you the full text. And most of the time for this class, you don't have to find the full text. By the end of the semester, you're gonna find the full text, but not today. Okay, you can ignore this green bar popping up because you guys aren't gonna get that. That's because I'm a research scientist and I got special bells and whistles on my computer, but you guys don't have this, doesn't matter, I can ignore it. Okay, so let's see what this, so it's got nothing about plants. I don't know how we pulled up plants. Probably we pulled up plants because I have a really stupid search thing. Hang on, I'm making a video. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, that was not a chicken, that was my daughter. All right, and reliable monitoring of the invasives, blah, 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 abundance, phenology and geographic distribution is critical for its management. So if anybody is looking for a great invasive species bug paper, this is probably it. Okay, so again, just as before, title, authors, journal. Now here, oh, I'm not gonna tell you, don't care about the impact factor. Keywords right here, and let's go down. So if we go down, this is all the authors, so it's got a buttload of authors, and you can see who funded it. So this is published by the USDA. So that's pretty interesting. And why is that interesting? Well, because sometimes your paper is funded by nefarious sources. So for example, if you guys are interested in cancer and environmental causes of cancer, gasoline additives are pretty much known to cause cancer. So if you live next to a gasoline refinery, which rich people never do and poor people always do, you can find the link between gasoline additives and leukemias, particularly in children. And if you look at normal papers that are funded by the NSF, NIH, universities, that sort of thing, they're like, yeah, gasoline additives cause cancer. But if you find a paper that says, no, gasoline additives don't cause cancer, it's usually funded by Chevron. True fact, you can find that yourself. So you want to kind of scroll down and look at who the funding agencies are. Okay, so let's say that you guys, for whatever reason, were trying to find out more information about stink bugs as an invasive species. And you're like, this is the paper for me. Okay, you can click on free full text from publisher, and it will bring you right to, okay, it's slow because I've got a lot of tabs open. Okay, here we go. Here's our paper. Loading, loading. Okay, maybe I really do have too many tabs open. I should shut some. Nonetheless. Okay, and here's the paper. And now you can read the whole paper. Now, sometimes what I'm having you do is to find a paper and find a figure. Look at that. There's a figure right there. And I'm going to ask you to download the figure so you can take a screenshot of it. So if I were going to take a screenshot of it, I might do something like, I use a computer, so Command-Shift-4, and then I can take a screenshot, like that. Might ask you to take a screenshot and then explain it. There are some tables, blah, blah, blah. I can read it. And now after I've read this paper, I know more about stink bugs than anybody else, because who the hell knows anything about stink bugs? Okay, you guys do. You guys are stink bug experts. I just don't know. Okay, let's go back and find some more papers. Okay, let's see. Let's try to look at some other papers. Envisioning a National Invasive Species Information Framework. Ooh, this one comes with associated data, and it's published in the journal Biological Invasions. I'm going to click on here. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm like, wow, look at this. Oh, look, they've got citizen science. Citizen science is pretty cool. That means that everybody gets to contribute. Oh, but what am I really showing you? I really want to show you about what happens. Okay, so I was looking for who funded this paper. So remember last time we just scrolled down and it said funding agencies? Look, there are no funding agencies right here. What does that mean? Well, it means it wasn't funded. Oh no, if it wasn't funded, does it mean it was bad science? No, my friends, it does not mean that. Because not everything gets funded. So if you publish with me, I don't usually have funding. So usually I'm just paid for, but with my salary. Okay. Let's see, I don't really want to look at the, let's go. The still underestimated problem of fungal diseases worldwide. Frontiers in Microbiology. I love this journal. It's a great journal. Okay, let's click on this. Okay, so I want to find one that's not free text so that I can show you guys how to find it. So scrolling down, again, you can see, oh, look at this. So what do I think about the fact that this was, I'm going to guess that's Argentina, that's funded by somebody who speaks Portuguese. Okay, that's fine. The things that I want to watch out for, was it funded for by Chevron? What if it was funded by the Grapefruit Growers of America? I've seen that. It's fine. But you would want to be suspicious of anything that was funded by, even being funded by Chevron's okay. But you got to take, if it's funded by somebody with a vested interest, grapefruit growers, Chevron, whatever, you have to make sure that the paper you're reading, that you take it with a grain of salt. You would want to find, okay, what if the grapefruit growers are finding something different than everybody else? Well, then maybe you should be suspicious. If the topic is only funded by the Grapefruit Growers of America, well, then you would treat it like a pilot study, right? And you might not be you would want to replicate it before you'd completely believe it. Okay, let's find something that's not open access. Okay, I bet insects, genome-wide. Oh my God, nobody can read that. Oh, this one's good. Tree mortality following drought in the central and southern Sierra Nevada, Sierra Nevada's California. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, okay, this one's perfect. So let's say that we read this paper and we want to talk about sugar pines, because what a great name. Aren't they sweet? I think I'm funny. You don't have to laugh at me. I will never know. And cheatgrass. Okay, bad students to cheatgrass. Beetle species. Okay, this is a good paper, a great ecology paper. We looked down and it was funded by some climate change competitive grant program. That sounds pretty good. Okay, let's say I want to read this paper. Okay, so I can click on, so I'm going to tell you what, if you click on Google Scholar, it's most likely going to bring you to a page where you have to pay $30 for this thing. We do not want to pay $30 for this thing. We want to get it free from our library. So we're going to click on Stony Brook. Let's see what Stony Brook can do for us. A lot of times Stony Brook sucks bad things that, oh, wow, I have a potty mouth. Okay, so it's bringing us to a really crappy site, right? Available online, sure, right? So here's a trick. This is, you're never going to get to it this way. You're going to have to ask a librarian to find it for you. So if you want a librarian to find it for you, then what you want to do is look at the references. So this has everything right here. This has all this information right here is everything you need to go to interlibrary loan and ask a librarian to get it for you. Remember at the beginning I said, oh, here's interlibrary loan. Well, you could put all of this information into the interlibrary loan site and a librarian will deliver it to your inbox. So my friends, never ever give up when you're like, oh, I don't want to pay $30 for a paper. I have never once. Okay, now just to make my point, let's click on Google Scholar. Oh, please, Google Scholar, don't make me a liar. Okay, so right here, it's giving us a link to the Science Direct page. Let's see if this will come free. Oh, yeah, okay, so Google Scholar worked this time. Okay, pays to be persistent. So right now, if I want to read this whole paper, I can read the whole paper. Look, it's got pictures. I love papers with pictures. Pretty. Oh, dead trees. It's not so pretty. Okay. But you can see, you can read the whole paper right here. So Google Scholar got us where Stony Brook website did not. Okay, so try that too. Let's say normally, well, what I expected to happen, so there's no normal, it's all a mess. Normally, I would have, where it says download PDF, it would have said something like pay for PDF or access to PDF. And then if you click it, it'd say, give me $30 and I'll give you the paper. And if that's what happened, then you would go back to the Stony Brook site and do interlibrary loan. Oh my gosh, 50% of the trees died. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I clicked here. No dead trees. All right, so hopefully what I've done is I've showed you how to use Web of Science. I've told you what Web of Science is, and I've walked you through the how to get it. Now let me just walk you through one more time what you're gonna do. The first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the Stony Brook website. The second thing you're gonna do is go to the library website. The next thing that you're gonna do is click on research databases, because that's what you're gonna wanna do. And then you're gonna click on W for Web of Science, and that is going to bring you to a page like this one. And then you're gonna go back. You're gonna start a search right here. You're gonna put in your keywords. This is where the art comes in. So you can see invasive beetles, lots of invasive beetles. You're gonna put in a search term right here. If you get a whole bunch of results, so this time we only got 1,500, but if we look at highly cited in the field, there are 13. Those are always a good place to start. If you're trying to get up on, ooh, look, sperm ultrastructure and spermatogenesis in the Japanese beetle. In case you were wondering how the Japanese beetles make sperm, there you go. That just proves it. Somebody studies everything. Okay, and you can see you have lots of choices right here. So you can get pretty creative with your search results. Now, if you click on something, oh my God, I'm gonna have to click on the sperm one because really. Okay, you click on this one, look up full text Stony Brook. You're gonna wanna try both. If you fail with both, you're gonna go back to the library website and you're gonna fill out interlibrary loan. Okay, we got it. Have fun. You really are gonna have to master this. We'll do this all semester. All right, I'll see you guys later.